All right. Good morning, everyone. I am your host for this morning's pivot call. My name is Paul Kouri of the Kouri team, Boston Southwest, filling in while James is taking a bit of a break. If you weren't on the pre-show this morning, we talked about the dipper and the bucket out of the book, How Full is Your Bucket? And we had some really great shares. So this morning, as always, we're going to start with some Tell Me Something Goods. Anybody? Bueller? Nobody's got anything good to share.
I got to meet my
Orly.
donor's sister.
All right, now we got to find the mute button again. Here we go. Good morning, Orly.
Good morning, everybody. So my youngest third daughter is having her first baby, and that will be grandchild number 4, and our third granddaughter. That's one. And the other thing is I am hosting a Pivot Inspire Summer Splash pool party at my house on July 31st. So if you are in the New Jersey area, you have to sign up. Julie Four has a list, so let us know because we are going to have to cap it at some point. Like 500 people cannot.
The 697 people on this call, you could be in big trouble. That's awesome, Orly.
Okay.
Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning, Paul. Sorry for my voice, but so I have a client buyer looking for a house and it's extremely difficult. And yesterday I got a call from the listing agent letting me know that my client was going under contract. And it's been a long, long road for her. She doesn't know this yet because I have to give her a call, but I legit started crying in the car. And the agent was like, she was like, "Are you crying?" I was like, literally crying because we've been doing so much for her and nobody wanted to take a chance on her loan at all. And this agent and her sellers are taking a chance on her. And it made me realize that what I'm doing is the right thing for me because I fought so hard for her and they're accepting her loan. So I can't wait to tell her today that she's under contract with
That's going to
a
be a
house for
wonderful,
her and her boys.
great call. Tears of joy.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. Good morning,
Thank
Mary
you.
Ellen. How's our world traveler doing?
Good morning, Paul. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. We just got back from an amazing trip in Ireland. I totally suggest to go see Ireland. We were there for 16 days of nonstop travel adventure. It was amazing. And then this tomorrow, I am closing on a client who they had their property listed with another agent for 6 months. We got it on the market, we sold it, and she is just thrilled to death. After having 3 different offers fall through for no reason of our own, just people being wishy-washy, we finally are closing tomorrow. So very excited.
Congrats, that's wonderful. And I'm glad you had a great trip. My daughter lived in Ireland and we got to tour somewhat. It's a wonderful country.
Yes, it is. It's gorgeous.
And we have time for one more, and that will be you, Yolanda.
Hi, good morning. My name is Yolanda, and
Yolanda.
thank you. I'm a brand new agent, started in May. Just want to share a quick testimony. As a new agent, your nerves are kind of all over the place. You don't feel like you don't know what you're doing. And I asked God to just confirm that I'm on the right path. Well, I got my first listing appointment, and on June 28th, put the house on the market. On July the 3rd, no, on July the 2nd, got an offer, and on July the 3rd, we were under contract. And so, and I have 2 other listing appointments. So I'm just like super excited, and I hope I can do it full time one day. So just wanted to share.
Well,
And
congratulations. And I might say that you are not a brand new agent anymore. So you can erase that from your title.
oh, wow. Thank you so much. And this call is just such a blessing to me. Thank you all.
All right. Good morning. So we're going to be in the shift book today, hovering around page 81, 83. And the topic is centered around, is this chatter versus conversations that we're having? Are we actually having business building conversations that create opportunities for us, or are we simply just talking to people? And I think in this market, especially when I think we have to double down because it's harder to get listings, it's harder to get, buyers closed and all that that comes along with a shift. We have to be much more intentional when we're having our conversations. And Gary says that a contact without a capture is wasted energy. And we just got done talking about how we can get drained and how we have to keep our energy up. So we really must convert casual conversations into follow-up worthy database contacts. And on page 81, Gary mentions at the top of the page, he says, lead generation is a contact sport with simple rules. It means making contact with people through prospecting and marketing. And then if we flip over to page 83, I just want to read at the bottom of the page, doing lead generating activities is one thing. Getting an active lead from it is another. Without the ability to turn activities into leads and leads into appointments, any lead generating activities you do are futile. In other words, conversion matters. It seriously matters, and maybe more than you ever realized. And then just flipping over, in a shifting market, which is where we're all at, it matters the most because, quite frankly, when you need more than anything else, what you need more than anything else are appointments with motivated buyers and sellers right now. So my question is, opening up for discussion is, how do you turn casual conversations into really real estate conversations without being pushy? Morning, Carol.
Good morning, Paul. Okay, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I love this part of the Shift book. In 2016, I went to family reunion and I found out there was like a whole training program for Shift. And I took it back to Market Center in New York City where people didn't think such a thing would happen. And I taught it. And I realized I was doing it all wrong. I was handing out business cards. I was just like a confetti per agent. That's what I called it. I was a confetti agent. I handed out business cards. I didn't capture anything. I was like, whoa, I have to stop. So I made a conversation where I can say, so what would have to be true for you to be interested, or what would have to be true for you to have a real estate, or what's your situation, and just have a natural conversation. And listen, what's the best number? I get out my phone, I do a text, and I take a picture of us and I send it to them. I say, thank you. I have a whole system. And that's why I have 12,000 people in my phone now, and I didn't know anybody. I have a whole system how to capture people. And when they see me, they remember me. And because of this shift part of this book, it's so important not to be a confetti agent because people just take your card and lose it. You have to get their information back.
Confetti agent. Confetti agent. That's a great way to put it. Thanks,
Yeah.
Carol. And I've heard or been around when you've gotten into a taxi cab and you've gotten a client, the driver, like, because you're not just sitting there as a passive passenger, right? You're always thinking about it. So
Yeah, we've
thank you.
helped so many Uber drivers buy apartments. It's not crazy. It's crazy.
Good morning, Uncle Dean.
Hey, good morning, and thanks so much for the opportunity, Paul. Good to see you here today. I think what you need to do is you got to kind of create a science for yourself of lead generation. What can you do to increase the chance of converting that lead into an appointment? What do you say? What do you do when something doesn't work? Sorry about that. You got to tweak it, and you got to be a student of it every single day, and you got to make mistakes.
So what do
in it.
you say? What do you say?
Well, what do I say? I'd say, hey, let me ask you a question. What's the number one reason that you want to move to wherever? I'm just kind of curious. You come from curiosity, and they'll tell you typically if you
Right.
ask it in that way, and you just delve into that and get into that. I say the word "oh" quite a bit, as you know. Oh, really? Oh, and really is number two. So listen to what they have to say. Get that information. Don't go for the throat because they're going to draw away. But
Exactly.
find out what they want and draw into them. So I just wanted to share. Thanks, man.
Great shit. Thank you. Hey, Miranda.
Good morning. So, this is one of my favorite things. So, most of my lead generation is just being out and involved in my community. I'm not really I don't spend hours and hours on the phone, but I do spend hours and hours out talking to people in real life, and being involved in my community. But what I'm really careful about is I am not, I don't ever want to have people see me coming and think, oh God, here comes Miranda. She's just going to talk about real estate.
Yep.
And so I make sure that I get really into authentic relationships with people. And then I make sure that I add them to my database. So I don't necessarily have to be talking about real estate with people all the time. I also make sure that I friend them on Facebook or Instagram, because I post a lot on my social media channels that people know I'm a realtor and they know that I sell a lot of real estate. I am the number one agent in my town. And so I don't really have to be in their face about real estate all the time, but I do have to be the first person that they think of when they need a realtor, or when they are talking with one of their friends or family members about real estate. I need them to think of me. So one of the things I do is when I meet somebody, either, at the country club or at the farmer's market or at the coffee shop or whatever, I make sure that I have their email and their phone number so that I can add them to the database and I can stay in touch with them, and they can get um, my emails. I send people emails every week with my Monday market update. I also send emails when I'm doing seminars. I send emails about various information, things that are events that are happening in our town, my newsletter, things like that, so that people are getting my stuff and they're seeing my real estate
Right. So Miranda,
stuff.
you're very intentional. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're intentional, you're methodical. Well, that's a great share. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, Linda.
Hey, good morning. Doing a great job, by the way. So one of the best things I heard was at Bold, which was about perspective. So they said, when you go to Home Depot and you're looking around and somebody walks up to you and asks if they can help you, do you get offended? And you're like, no, I don't get offended. I'm just like, no, thank you, not right now. However, when you get ready for some help from assistance, you're like, where'd that guy go? I need that help. Why? I need him right now. So it's not that, you're offending them. You're just offering help. And when they're ready, if you continue to offer help, when they're ready, they'll be appreciative.
Yeah.
And then
Uh-oh.
the other thing
We got a mute Dean here. Hold on. Okay.
is that,
We got
people, I agree with Miranda. They know what you do by social media. They see more than we think that they see. And so people used to ask me when I'd see them after I hadn't seen them for a while, are you still doing real estate? Now they ask, how's the market? So it's because they know what I do because I've been doing it for a while. But in the beginning, they would ask, are you still doing it? So they see more than we think. Thanks for letting me share.
Thank you. Morning, Auntie Donna.
Oops, sorry, I wasn't
Oh,
there.
did I skip Kathleen?
You
I'll come
did,
back to you.
you did.
I'll come back to Kathleen. Go ahead, Auntie Donna.
Go first. Okay. So what do you do if they don't know that you do real estate? What do you do if it's somebody you're absolutely meeting for the very first time? They're not on your social media. They haven't gotten any of your stuff. So this was a gift that was given to me over 20 years ago. It's so simple. I'm going to give it to you today. I challenge you to try it and see how well it works. Here it is. We were in a conversation. Hi, how you doing? You're chatting about whatever. They say anything about anything. I'll give you an example. Oh my God, the weather lately. Oh, it's been so hot. Here it is. Here it is. Well, in my business, it often, will depend on what I'm going to do that day. And if you say it once, usually they pick it up. Sometimes you have to say it twice.
Oh, what do you do for a living?
Exactly. Exactly.
Write
They
that down,
always
people.
ask you. They always ask you. That gives you permission to now have a conversation about real estate.
Yeah.
And then ask them the question about, so are you thinking about making a, but that simple opening line opens so many doors.
Thank you. Sorry, I skipped you, Kathleen.
That's okay. And it's such a great cheer from Aunt Donna, as always. I just reread on Shift about connecting and asking the right questions. But what really has stayed with me for the past 14 years of being a realtor, and like Miranda said, are you selling or are you sharing and caring? And if that's your message and your brand that you're putting out there on all your social media, you are what you put out there. And when I first started as a realtor, gosh, 2012, my team leader, who has passed during COVID, gave me a book that I've read it so many times, the book is falling apart. It's called Fierce Conversations. And I just want to share one phrase. And it said, fierce attention to another, really asking, really listening, even during a brief conversation can invoke such a wholehearted response. A Chinese proverb says, when a question is posed ceremoniously, the universe responds. So when we really, and we're learning this from exactly what to say from Phil Jones, when you're asking questions and truly listening, and then go
If you're
forward.
talking, you're losing, right?
Yes. So, and people know what we do by what we put out there, and it's an organic conversation. So, how many times are we looking at the person that we're talking to, the eye contact? How much are we really listening and then asking questions back and having the conversation not be about me?
Thank you. I'm going to skip around a little bit only because I want everyone to have a chance to share. Cheryl?
Good morning, Paul, and you are doing an amazing job. So thank you. You're filling our bucket. And so
Thank you.
going to filling your bucket, it's a perfect segue to this. I like to equate lead gen almost like a bank. I have to be filling other people's buckets and depositing twice as much before I can ask for business and before I can actually, really try and dive in and take money out of that bank. And if you don't, you're going to be that person that they say, oh my goodness, I don't want Cheryl to call because all she does is ask for business. So
Yeah.
filling their buckets will get you into that conversation. And Paul, thank you for this. It's been a great call.
Thank you. And staying top of mind doesn't mean you have to ask for business every time you pick up the phone and see somebody, right? Good morning, Mr. Tullio.
Good morning, Paul. You're doing awesome. So I think it is okay to ask for business, but after you've spent some time chatting with a person, and then I think it's always good to be poised with some transitional phrases that segue you into the ask comfortably. I've got 6 of these that I use, and I learned many of these from you guys. And it's, I wouldn't be doing my job if, I would be remiss if I didn't ask. It would be a disservice not to bring this up. I'd be neglecting my responsibility if I didn't mention this. I wouldn't be acting in your best interest if I didn't ask. I wouldn't be a realtor if I didn't ask you who I can help. Those are 6 transitional phrases that I use. I keep those on my desk, and those are for you guys to use. I'll post those in the file section.
Thanks, Tullio. That's awesome. You're always bringing such great content to us. And I'm thinking, and I hope I didn't mess this up, I hope this was being recorded because I don't see any recording thing going on up here. And we'll get in trouble if it wasn't. Morning, Frank. We have 2 more minutes.
Good morning, Paul. Thank you so much. It's really all about establishing a relationship. And quite often, a simple thing is just to ask them, hey, what do you do for a living? And more often than not, they're going to turn around and ask you the same question. And you get into a dialogue, you establish a relationship, and you move from there. And as somebody else said earlier, people are not always ready. But keeping in touch with them and all, when they're ready, they know you.
They know who to call. Right. Yeah.
And
Thanks,
a
Frank.
lot of times it may be a couple, 3 years or more. And yet when they talk to you, they'll tell you things that you don't even remember ever talking to them about. It's an amazing thing.
Perfect. Thanks, Frank. Back to you, Bree.
Thank you. No, I was just going to say that, we talked about energy on the pre-show and how we show up. And I think in order to have friends, right, we're in a business where we are paid to make friends, you have to show yourself friendly. And you want to go to places and environments where you are authentic and you are showing up as your best self. And as James has told us, like care, compassion, and common sense. I don't think that's just when you're talking on the phone. It's also when you're face to face with someone and you can kind of guide where the conversation will go. If it doesn't make sense to bring up real estate straight away, then don't bring it up. But to connect, I think that's the biggest part that we miss on because we're so ready to ask the next question that could lead to a real estate commission check rather than asking questions to connect and seeing what's important to them, seeing what their goals are, and seeing what you can show how that you're more interested in them as a person than, you know, what they can do for your business. So just being genuine and finding intentional and genuine ways to connect.
That's awesome. I think part of like having client parties and having people see you in a different light, right? Where the opportunity to bring their kids, maybe an ice cream party or something, it shows interest because it's not about business, it's about having fun with people that, you know, like, and trust you because they showed up. It is 8:20 and thank you for the opportunity. I think we had some great shares and the topic was fun this morning. I want to thank Grace for helping man the dashboard here. I'm not sure if I was supposed to hit record or Grace was, but I don't see
got
that
you,
the
Paul.
record. But we're good. We good?
You're good. You did
Oh,
great.
thank you. Thanks for everyone for waking up early and participating, especially those of you on the West Coast. It's a wrap. You've got your inspiration. Now go put in the perspiration. Have a good
Thank you,
day.
Paul. Great job.
Hi,
Thank you,
guys.
Thanks, Paul. You did
Bye.
great.
Great job,
Thank you,
Paul.
Paul.
Amazing job
Thank you,
today.
Paul. Take
Great
care,
job,
man.
Paul.
Good
Thank
job,
you.
Paul.